Dave tends to keep it quite quiet, and he comes from sheep farming stock. I don't know how many of you know that. It was quite a surprise to me when his leaving present at the first firm where we worked together was a stuffed lamb with mint sauce. And it was only later at his annual barbecue up at the farm that I was introduced to some of his earlier friends, both the two-legged and the four-legged fleecy kind. We all know Dave the accountant, and less said about that the better, really. In his early life, there was some other days that perhaps we don't know about. There was Dave the inventor. His first attempt at stardom was something called the right welly wipe, which is basically a metal contraption with two broom handles pointing inwards, and the young farmer rubs his muddy boot through the mill, and it's meant to remove the mud, but it just flicked it all over the wall, made a terrible mess. I think he redefined it and managed to sell one, and then the rest were presents to friends and family for the years to come. I think they're finally all gone now. I did try and track one down, but I think they're all gone. Nancy came up with a great idea, which was the music festival goer's comfy seat, which is basically a board with a piece of foam on it, and you leant it against a rock or a wall, and then you could sit in comfort and watch the concert. But that didn't really get beyond the design stage. Next came Dave, the fashion icon. He had his tweed jacket, complete with he had the leather things on the elbows there. And he tried to introduce that to many chic ski resorts around the Alps, but that really didn't take off either. I don't know if any of you have seen his swimming trunk trick, where he pulls them right around his butt crack like that. We did have a photo there, but unfortunately it got lost. But that's never taken off amongst the males either. But his policy of function over form has been satisfied with a Bush series of trousers with the zip-off legs. I don't know if you've seen those. Very handy. Anyway, next was Dave the adventurer. Dave was the first of us to explore exotic locations for contract work like Jakarta and Stuttgart and Hounslow. Recently he sailed 4,000 miles across the Pacific Ocean to the Marquesas to hunt wild boar with nothing but dogs and knives, and he skied in the Alps, scuba dived in the exotic oceans around the world, overland trips in southern Africa, hill felling after 6 pints of Crudgington. Actually, his passion for walking ended one relationship when he got a girlfriend to walk from his flat in Fulham to Notting Hill Carnival in order to save the cab fare. And believe me, that's a really long way. Few people know about Dave the dancer. His amazing dancing ability won him a prize from an international dance instructor at the Harbour Club in London. And Alison, I have to say this, you nearly lost your groom to a tribe of Indian pygmy women in Panama due to his provocative dance style. I have that on video if anyone wants to watch it. Anyway, lastly was Dave the romantic. After a ropey start, chasing around fields at night in Leicestershire, Dave decided that he wanted to improve his romancing skills. An early inspiration was the notorious El Camino. So impressed he was by some of his cunning plans, like hiring a riverboat at Henley in order to entice girls back and seduce them, Dave even managed to overlook the fact that one of them was his own girlfriend at the time. He eventually moved in with Kevin, and for a while he was learning the tricks of the trade firsthand. But unfortunately, all the new skills amassed really was a succession of very extreme bunny boilers, and I'm very glad none of them turned up today. In the end, he had to flee the country and travel to the other side of the world, and that's been his greatest success. He's found a country and a home that he loves and the girl of his dreams. The right girl for him, and he's the right man for her. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. and Mrs. Wright.
I used to think that buying a boat was the best day of my life, but I can truly say that today has been the best day of my life. I'm now married to the most beautiful bride ever, who I love very much. And we have gathered here tonight all of our favourite people, all in one place, all gathered together. And it may never happen again like this, so this is a pretty special moment. So, before we do anything else tonight, let's just have a round of applause for us all being here. It's pretty damn good. It's not been all plain sailing. Little sailing joke there. Very little sailing joke. In fact, the invites themselves were late appearing. And that's not because of poor planning. In fact, the thrifty amongst you will have noticed that by waiting until November, you can take advantage of the Christmas postage rates. And at 5 cents a card, it can add up to a tidy sum, I can tell you. Chris was polite enough not to touch on my thrifty habits, but one or two of you might know them. Now, how we met. Always an interesting topic. Al has her own version of how we met. Michael has his version. And of course, I have my version. That I'll be happy to share with you some other time. Suffice it to say that it was a rather busy evening. And we didn't speak long, myself and Al, before going our separate ways. But I had a memory the next morning that wouldn't go away, of a heart-shaped face, and a beautiful smile, and a soft voice. And I had an all-important phone number. I think I first realised I loved her when I called her that first time. She had her brother James and his wife Melissa over to stay. Her dad was just planning to visit, so she had to help organise that. And she just trapped her thumb in a car door. The last thing she needed was a more or less complete stranger who she'd met in a pub, phoning her up and asking her out for a date. But when I spoke to her on the phone, she came out with a memorable phrase. Life is in G-force. Which sort of is a marvellously descriptive phrase, and I've always remembered it. And in fact, life has been a bit in G-force the past few weeks with all the planning. So it's actually quite nice to be here tonight and being able to relax. It's all very well loving somebody, but why get married? To a lot of you, the answer to this question may well be obvious, but it's taken me a long time to find it. And I think I finally saw the true reason for getting married when I had that wonderful opportunity with Chris and Emma to come sailing across the Pacific. I really saw how two people who were supporting each other can actually achieve more than two separate people, and just what an effective married team can be. So Chris and Emma are a very strong reason for why we're here today. We might drink for that.
Turn it on yourself.
However, like all good questions, in fact, the answer to my question why get married was a lot closer to home had I had the wit to realise it. In fact, very close to home. My parents have been married 38 years and have demonstrated beyond doubt the value of a loving partnership. I can't thank them enough. So let's have a round of applause for Pam and Bill, my parents, please. That's all right.
It's 48 years, not 30.
I think I've got to just correct a slight error there. It's 48 years, not 30. As my sister's just reminded me, I'm actually 43.
Years to you,
There are, however, other people equally dear to me and us who I'd like to thank. Of course, my sister Ali for coming all this way and missing her children badly. Her husband Andy for looking after those children while she's away. And I can't forget Dina for being a wonderful mother to Al, and I've now got some flowers for you, Dina, too. Al's father, Brian, for being a wonderful dad and making a wonderful speech. Another hard act to follow, but I'll buy you a pint, Brian. I've already mentioned Chris and Emma, my best man and woman. Chris did a wonderful job on the stag night, heroically intercepting all the shooters coming my way and downing them. That's saving me from a hangover, but at the cost of his own liver. Emma, who in spite of a bad sprain, has not complained once and has been actively doing the 1,001 organisational tasks that are required, and has also kept Chris in line. I'd like to thank Helena for very kindly playing so beautifully at our wedding. So, thank you very much. I'd like to thank my good friends Jeff, Dave and Steph for coming all this way and reminding me of all the good times we had and will have drinking beer in country pubs. Oh my last night. Also, all the way from the United Kingdom, Rosemary, who has put us all to shame by being the first on the dry white every day. And in fact is one of the most energetic people I know, with the possible exception of Chris. Cheers, Rosemary. Also from the UK, my Auntie Kate, whose online dating exploits I became an accomplice to on her last visit. Ushers, please keep a close eye on her. Of course, my ushers themselves, Jerry and Michael. Jerry for being a great friend and an indefatigable drinking partner. I had to stay sober to pronounce that one. Michael for also being a great friend, and he and Nikki have a special event coming up this year too. This is going to be a good one for us, Michael, in a lot of ways, I think. So I'd like to propose a toast to you guys, Nikki and Michael. I'd also like to thank Charlotte for being a good and supportive friend to Al over the past few weeks. She's really needed somebody to lean on and to help her through it and to share the odd glass with us. So, Charlotte, where are you? Thank you, Charlotte. My good friend and dive buddy, Terry, who I don't see enough of, but I value tremendously. I also have to mention Raymond, a committed vegetarian, who on the stag night had to endure a pig hunting video, followed by watching the rest of us devour a herd of cows. Above and beyond the call of duty, Raymond. Thank you. And really, all the guys who came to the stag night, making it a really friendly and enjoyable evening. I'm sure I've missed some people, and for that I'm very sorry, but you're all very welcome here tonight, and my thanks go out to you all from me and Al. But I guess the biggest thank of all has to go to my wife, Al. Al has tremendous qualities of compassion and understanding, as well as inner strength, and I know we'll make a great team, and I love her very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
strange day. We had a bit of a taxi chase trying to get to the church. So I don't think I've ever been quite so relieved to see Dave actually. Yeah, anyway, that's the story in itself. I think I need to thank Kylie, and I think she thanked me at her wedding. I came out here on a year exchange from the UK and we swapped lives. And Kylie ended up with Jim, an English guy, Irish. And I guess I've got to meet Dave, so I must thank Kylie for actually going through the job exchange, which obviously lasted a little bit longer than a year, so thank you, Kylie. It was a strange thing, because I met Dave, and I actually distinctly remember before I went out that night, I was getting ready in the work mirror and there were cockroaches running around and it was pretty disgusting in our old work office. And I thought, oh my god, I'm going to meet the man I'm going to marry tonight. And I had a really, really serious, like, this is going to happen. And yeah, I met Dave and it was a Friday the 13th and I was thinking, oh. So I remember thinking, oh, I shouldn't be thinking this on Friday the 13th. And I met Dave, and I don't mean to be rude, but I thought he had a slight learning disability. For being English, I wasn't kind of wise enough not to give the full phone number, really. And I'm very, very, very glad that he persisted in getting in contact with me. And only later did I realise that I think he had a few drinks. And he was a lot sharper than I realised. It was fate, it is fate. And I do remember telling an over an essay saying, I think I had this really weird feeling today. I must thank a lot of people, my family that have made it, both of our families have made a huge effort to come out from the UK to be here. So thank you very much. I know it's been huge for everyone. But I'd also like to thank the families that I've kind of inherited or have adopted me while I've been here. I really must thank Liz, Isfan and their family for taking me on board on the first day when I got here. And I remember watching the world football, and I don't think I've ever been so grateful to see a football match in my life. So thank you for taking me on board and welcoming me into your family. Thank you, Liz. And Pip's family, I think we've got the Green Ops here, so Erica, Rob, Pip, Janie, thank you. Thank you very much to the Christmases, and Wallace as well, I think was one of the first people I met. So thank you very much, Wallace, that you liked my French Macintosh. And we became friends because you liked my coat. And thank you too. I've got great friends here, and my friends from the UK, and my friends from Australia, and just the great support that people have been. I came for a year and I've stayed for 6.5, so I'm just staggered by everyone I've met here, and the people that I know from Australia and the UK. You've touched me quite profoundly. Every single person in this room has meant something to one of us, and I think you've really changed us and our lives. So thank you to you, and thank you for just looking so beautiful today. Everything's stunning, so thank you.
I was just going to say a quick word. I thought it was quite pertinent for Dave's parents are actually married about the time that this article came out in Housekeeping Monthly in 1955, and it's called the Good Wife's Guide, and it has a number of tips for a good wife. And I know that Alison's not too fond of this article, but it's extremely funny, so I thought I'd just read you some of the choice points on it. It starts with have dinner ready. Plan ahead even the night before to have a delicious meal ready for him on time for his return. The next one, prepare yourself. Take 15 minutes to rest so you'll be refreshed when he arrives. The third one is obviously the language has changed a bit over the years, but be a little gay and a little more interesting for him. I'm not sure what that one is. Anyway, clear away the clutter. Gather up school books and toys.